McCree on last point. Yesterday and even the previous days of Overwatch League, we've seen a lot of 4 damage dealing heroes, single tank, single support. So this one's a wild card. Throw it up in the air and see what lands.
We've also been seeing quite a few, well, matches that went the distance and then some. Because it'll just keep going. If you keep tying it up, if you each get 2 points on your offense, it'll just go until you run out of time. And so we've seen crazy scores on this map in particular. We'll see how it plays out now between Houston and Boston. It's looking like Houston will be starting on the defense. Uprising will be on the offense.
Defense, nothing real tricky here. It's a little bit of an interesting wrinkle when you run 3-3 without a Reinhardt and instead put a Winston there. Very different play styles, not the permanent shield up front, but the ability to drop a shield over your team on a cooldown.
Exactly, the bubble is what we call it. We'll see if they're going to burst it on this side of things. Boston Uprising looking like they're going to have fusions on the Reinhardt to start. We have seen teams just go for scouting and then adjust their setups according to what they see, but it's looking like Boston are going to stick to their guns for now at least.
You see Muma getting all the support in the world up front, even though he's playing a more passive style of Winston. He's got the Orb of Harmony on him, healing him from Zenyatta. He's getting emergency packs from his Brigitte, which heals him for a burst. And Boston have taken an interesting angle. They're trying to take the high ground away.
Yeah, taking the high ground now, and then they're going to move down into the cubby, into the locker room. Gotta be careful though, don't want to overextend until your shield is in front of you. Exactly, there's fusions moving in to take that position. And now they're going to start setting up shop. But again, Muma, he's going to have all the support in the world from the rest of his team. And Boink is there to just contest on the point as well. So long as one of the defensive players are on the point, Boston Uprising can't make any progress.
It's a war of attrition thus far. Cool Matt to the side, just poking away on his D.Va, trying to get ultimates up. No one's really found a target to isolate and dive until just now. Muma finds Kelix Lucio on the side, able to call that to his team. They dive him, he's down and out.
Now he's cut off, and you can see Muma already. He knows that eventually Kelix is gonna have to run back in here somehow. And Muma's getting in position to cut him off now, Dante as well. This is gonna get a little dicey here for Kelix. He can be fast, but Muma's already closing the door on him, delaying things further. It looks like finally they're gonna just go ahead and move on back into it. Fight could come into this as Kelix, the ults come online. Aim God gonna go for the trance as the grab gets thrown in on him. Muma cleaving everybody, but he's not gonna find a kill just yet.
It's a big kill to take Linkster's Brigitte down there. So much sustainable damage is done from that Brigitte there, and the healing she provides as well. With those follow-up kills onto Raucus and Muma respectively, the Boston Uprising should be taking control of this first point.
Such patience being shown from Boston. They could have fallen apart, overextended after Kelix goes down. They could have gone for a reset. Instead, they just take their time and slowly whittle down the defense. Houston Outlaws now going to be the ones, well, we'll see in just a moment here. You can see they're respawning way back over here. This is where the second point is located. And so Boston Uprising now going to make their way over here into the factory. Big thing to keep an eye on here, the check marks for Houston Outlaws. Raucus and Boink, the 2 key support ultimates that we keep talking about, those are about to come online. So Houston now are going to be really tough to take down.
On assault maps especially, the offense has to overwhelmingly have a victory over the defense because of where those respawn points are for the defense. And something as small as a single kill on your defensive hold might just win you the fight because the offense knows they have to get 2, 3, even 4 kills sometimes to capture the last point.
Exactly, it has to be a definite victory. And Houston, I like this from them. Finding the kill, they're not using any of their ultimates, they're still trying to gain that advantage. In the meantime, Boston Uprising right now, it's only Blase and Kelix who are kind of a little bit behind. Axiom, he's about to get that grab online. Aim God about to get that trance. So we'll be keeping an eye on those now as Boston once again gonna go for the push. Fusion with the shields up.
They've got 5 minutes, so they can really pick the fight that they want to have. Now that you have ultimate abilities coming online, there's no hurry for Boston to take it. Another interesting angle of approach as they've now established a presence on the point.
Primal is in, Muma's there, trying to get that, exactly that Ryan out of position. The Shatter doesn't connect with anybody, thrown out there by Fusions. There's the grab, getting chucked into the fight. Axiom trying to find an opening, and Muma will get blown up by Note. Note finding the success on the self-destruct, and that's gonna be big. Axiom just blazing away now in the chaos. The self-destruct gets thrown in by Boink. Raucus has already used his trance, but the rally is online for Linkster. Still, there's going to be some real progress made here for Boston Uprising. 1 tick picked up, should not be picking up a second, although they might. 2 ticks picked up, and now it's on Houston to get in here.
Self-destruct over the top. Houston trying to bring this one back. They try to get the charge and self-destruct combination. However, Axiom continues his reign of dominance here. That 1 kill on the Fusions, though, keep that in mind, might be enough. And now with Axiom falling, 2 ticks for Boston is going to be it. Time to retreat.
It's going to be it, but the high point, pretty decent. 1 good fight for Boston, and they're going to be locking down this second point. It's so fun, Hex, to see like how things have changed on this map. It used to be that, you know, you could have teams that would just hold indefinitely. They were so good on the defense. But what we've seen so far in the first few days of this season of Overwatch League is that teams are very good at just picking up that second point, and then we're flipping. We're getting into scores of 4-5, 6-5.
I think teams have also managed expectations in those final fights as well. Instead of going to just win the map and win the match, can we get 33%?
Yeah.
Can we get 66%? That progress is permanent once you get it. So you're piecemealing this final capture together.
Exactly, you can see 2 of the blue bars around that B at the top of the map. That's the progress that's permanent for Boston. So let's see, are they going to be able to get the job done here? We've got Grav coming online here for Axiom. He knows where the D.Va is. He knows that the D.Va is totally out of position on the other side of the point. So he's going to go ahead and commit. Counter Grav getting thrown into it. Self-destructs as well. Ultimates all thrown in wholesale here from both teams. And Fusion's getting overwhelmed. Houston Outlaws looks like they'll hold.
Bit of a rough fight there for Boston as they committed some of their very valuable resources into that lost fight. Now Houston on the chase down. No one gets out alive as Raucus will take down his opposing number on the other side of things. Houston in a good spot. So only a moment ago I said we had 5 minutes left. Now half of that, a little less than 2.5 minutes now on the clock. So about 2 more attempts for Boston to get more progress on this last point of Volskaya.
We've seen that Boston have been able to keep their cool in the past. They got the job done on Hollywood. That was through good teamwork, coordination, and now this
so
is sick.
cool.
There's the angle. Getting taxied in on the side. Houston should definitely have spotted this though. So, but it's a different angle. They go right through that choke point now, and they're gonna go right onto the point itself. So Boston looking to set up shop here behind Fusions.
They really like taking this angle. They took the platform on the way in. Let's take a look at these shatters, see if Fusion can hit a big one.
Yeah, it's about finding that angle. If they can knock Moon out of position, self-destruct is there. Grav gets thrown in as well here on the Houston Outlaws side. Cool Matt going to not find the kill, but Linkster still manages to remove Nodes. Cool Matt getting overwhelmed as well, and now that's going to be the delayed grab thrown in here from Axiom. No big follow-up to it, but some decent damage getting dealt. Fusions with the shatter on one. They're finding some kills here, Boston Uprising, but will it be enough? Still 3 players alive for Houston Outlaws. They're going to be able to draw this out a little bit longer.
Blue in the entire left side of the kill feed means Boston is winning this fight handily. Only a little bit more percentage to get the final completion on this point as well. Now stalling tactics are coming in. You see Houston changing heroes to heroes that are ultra fast, ultra quick. Not going to be enough as Boston will complete the first half of Volskaya Industries.
Excellent work on Boston's side. They kept it together despite the stiff defense thrown in by Houston Outlaws. We'll be taking a quick break before we see if the Houston Outlaws will have a successful offense of their own. Welcome back from the break, everybody. We're going to get into the second half of this map. Houston Outlaws versus the Boston Uprising, and it's the Houston Outlaws now, their turn on the offense.
Boston is going to be running a similar composition that they have all map, which has been working out for them. Might as well not switch things up now. They're able to complete the first half on their offense, so if Houston's able to complete their offensive push, We'll just do it again. Let's go again, play Volskaya second half.
The thing is, don't even try, Muma. Don't even try. We already saw Surefour. Surefour actually committed to the sim. Muma, not buying it. Not buying it.
Well, I mean, the sim always comes out on offense now,
Yeah,
the
it's
scout.
the scout.
Yeah.
I know, but he's gonna swap off of it in a second, and then it's just, yeah, okay. Done. See?
Well, that's why you're running all these scout heroes. Cool Matt was on the Sombra. It's going to be invisible and be fast. Move behind him. It seems like now that they know what the other team is doing, they're committed to a different composition. One interesting wrinkle here is Raucus, who played Zenyatta all last half, is now going to be moving to the Moira. So less damage dealing ability, but more group AoE healing, area of effect healing.
And if they get lost, they'll always have the Lighthouse to show them the way. So,
Coalescence, a great ability. Heals and damages. Doesn't matter about shields either, goes right through them. So really cool stuff from Raucus. We'll see when they finally try to initiate.
oh wow. Going for the hop. Maintaining my high ground as long as they can, but Muma's gonna go ahead and take the fight to the point itself. Fusion's hidden in his bubble, will be able to back off now. And once again, so long as Boston keep a body on that point, they'll be all right. They need to be careful about not getting split up, however. Kellick's gonna be able to make his way back to the rest of his team, but this could be a first tick picked up here for Houston. And yep, sure enough, they've got 33% and counting now.
Permanent progress on the point now with Axiom falling. This might just continue going Houston's way. It does just that. Boink and Dante put their name on the board, taking out their counterparts as well. There's Raucus. This is all Houston on point A.
It really is. This first point really does turn into a game of chicken. I mean, we're getting these control points. It's 3-3 versus 3-3, and then it turns into who's going to flinch first. So far, Houston has done a good job of just keeping their cool.
Yeah, who's going to use ultimates first, who's going to do things like that. Now, Fusions has not had these amazing Earthshatter ultimate abilities, but he's getting it up every minute. 1 minute and 9 seconds, his average ultimate charge time.
All right, he's a monster. This is what we expected to see. Dante about to get the grab online. He knows the note is turned the other way. We're going to get the shatter in, though. Big one getting thrown into it. And the grab follow-up as well. Self-destruct straight on the point. And the shield is going to be there to save the Boston Uprising, but they are dropping dangerously low. Not, however, the case for Houston Outlaws. They're dead. 3 of them.
Raucus just going to reset. You lost a couple of heroes early on. We mentioned how Assault, you have to play so much better as the offense. Just to the right of Brigitte right there is where the defense is going to respawn. Aim God looking to launch volleys across the map. Of course, doing extra damage will help him get his ultimate ability up faster.
That's what it's all about. And hell, you hit a couple of headshots. Might get a kill as well. That feel good moment. Jonak, not on the server right now.
Unless you're on the receiving side of those headshots across the map. You're like, oh man, I just let spawn. What are you doing?
Oh, sigh. All right, Houston Outlaws, once again, pushing on to the point. Second point now for them, so let's see, are they gonna get it done? Now he's grab angled there, thrown in by Axiom. Muma getting taken for a ride. He gets a bubble, so he will survive, and the sound barrier's there as well, but the focus fire, too good. Fusions, he can't survive. Nearly had a shatter online as well. Good start shaping up here for Houston Outlaws. They just need to find another kill here to perhaps start that snowball rolling down the hill.
They're starting to get to their ultimate abilities. It started out, I thought it was just going to be like a bunt kind of play for Houston, but they found themselves a couple kills. Now they're committed. Now they're into it. However, they've lost a couple of their tank players, going to have to retreat. No progress on the point. I think Houston accidentally fought there. They were going in with such fewer resources that I thought it was going to be like a bunt in baseball. We're going to sacrifice here and then get something out of it at the end. They're going to sacrifice the fight, hope that Boston used abilities and they didn't, but then they started winning and then they actually got abilities online and started getting abilities. Yeah.
Getting excited, like maybe we're going to get this done, and then doesn't happen. Fusion back in that fight with the shield, kept his team alive. But Houston have got a couple of ults online now, so it's about getting this shield down so that Muma can get an angle for the shatter. That big stun can really turn the tide. They're gonna cut him off. Blase getting caught out of the open. Not gonna help things. The grab gets thrown in and the shatter canceled. Muma just throwing it out there, and that's gonna wreck the rest of his team.
They're committed, but Muma's down. That's a really big loss. The only loss so far, though, for the Outlaws as they continue to push. Progress on the point. Still some stall. They get off the point to go fight, actually.
The grab is, well, really thrown in there, but now they get back onto the point with 3. First tick, second tick, looking good here for Houston. The rally thrown into it here on the Boston. No, not on the Boston side, on the Lynxer side. It's Dante who will find the kill on Kelix, and they're just gonna go in swinging. Fusion's getting focused. Not gonna survive. Axiom, dodges the body block by Cool Matt. It's like now they're just trickling. They're just trying to get in, but they're not gonna happen. And Boston Uprising Really long, drawn-out fight, Hex. One at a time, dying.
It's a game of inches and a game of seconds right there. You saw Kelix in there using Lucio's ability to ride up walls, try to stall out the point and just exist. He dies right before AimGod is able to get out there with Transcendence and heal him up. If Kelix lives, then he's able to move people around. Might be a different final fight, but a good catch there. A second earlier from AimGod, Kelix probably lives, and we might just still be seeing a fight on Volskaya Last right now.
A good catch from our observers there as well, our in-game directors, giving us Linkzr's perspective. That key stun, canceling out the Shatter from fusions, really putting a, a stick in the spokes. So Boston now, they're going to be the ones flipping. With less time on the clock, they're going to be starting off on offense. So the onus is on them now to get some progress on this first point. Houston Outlaws on the defense should be feeling pretty comfortable. 3 minutes in the bank for them. They're looking good.
Sometimes there's an advantage that doesn't really mean a whole lot, like a minute 13 to a minute 10. No one really cares about 3 seconds, but 2 minutes is a really big deal. Boston has to be feeling some pressure right now because with only a minute on the clock, you really only have 1, maybe 2 good fights at point A.
You can squeak a second, but it's going to be chaotic, and you're just going to have to get a little lucky there.
You're almost going to have to win without ultimates because generally ultimates take a minute or so, minute plus to charge.
So this will be getting into that overtime quick, but we'll see. Boston now moving forward, sticking to their guns, not really changing up the strategy. More of the same from them. Houston side of things, similar approach as well. Fusion's really sticking to that Rhine, but we have Muma on the Winston, so a little bit more mobility on Muma's side. He'll be able to dart in and out, but Boston once again taking that path above the locker room. High ground is theirs. They're going to be able to walk off the balcony if they'd like. Kelix kind of keeping an eye on things. But 40 seconds on the clock now, Hex.
Now they only really have one fight here. They're going to have to commit. They're going to have to go for it. The first kill on either side is going to be so important.
Man, Muma nearly got punished there. He dropped so low, but excellent support from his healers to get him topped up again to dodge it. And he will survive, but not the same for Raucus. Note the assassin removes the healer, and now Linkzr's going to feel the heat. Trying to get the punish on AimGod, trying to trade it out, but AimGod getting great support as well. He will survive it. Boston Uprising now looking great. All the kills going their way, and just like that, they had a minute to get it done. They don't even need the minute, Hex. They get it done before that.
An absolutely brilliant play by Note. It's so much in Overwatch is about read and react. He reads that Raucus is alone on the high ground momentarily while Boink is off doing something else, finds that single target, eliminates him. He isolated the healing target, able to take him out. Nice play from Note, and now they get an extension on the clock. Not much though, probably only one chance at last.
Yeah, for one chance, it's going to be one fight. But they do have an edge. They have ultimates online as well. The rally already getting used by Blase, but AimGod and Kelix have both got their ultimates. This is just going to be a big, chaotic ult fiesta. All the teams, all the tools, everything getting thrown into this. Who's going to come out on top? Who is going to flinch first? Raucus taking it off with a kill on Fusions. Isn't going to help things here for Boston. No kills with the self-destruct. Note going to throw in one of his own, though. And there it is. Muma is out of it. Quick res, though, for him. He should be able to find his way back in here, but Boston still finding the kills. Not giving up just yet.
Note is on the heavy carry, but Fusions comes back in. He died early in the fight, and now he's back. They're swinging away, trying to get as much progress as possible. And now 33. Can they get 66?
Oh, it's looking
Not
good.
Not quite.
It's looking likely they're going to get 66. They could pick up all 3 right now. This is unreal. Boston, they might pick up 4 points. It's looking good. So likely now as they're getting all of the kills. 6 alive, and Boston somehow starting off their offensive push with a minute. Managed to pick up both points versus the Houston Outlaws.
With a minute and a prayer, and sometimes when it is down to your last fight, players will play a little bit looser. You're not worried about just overarching strategy. I got ult, I'm gonna use ult, right? It's
throw it in there.
Exactly what happens. Fusion died early in that fight, but it's a great job by the rest of the team to stay alive, use ultimates, let him come back and sustain through the fight.
Once he gets back into that fight, we're gonna get Note's perspective. He saw that Raucus was already low, saw that Raucus was cut off. What map awareness from Note to pick up that high value target and start the ball rolling for his team. This is the level that we expect to see from Note, though. He impressed all of us last season, and it seems like he's coming into it now, finding his own after the long break.
It is kind of strange that last season, no one talked about him as maybe the best diva in the league because we were all so blinded by self-destructs from Poco, and there were so many the mechanical play of like the NYXL and London divas as well. But Note has just been as consistent can be. He gives you everything you need defensively, has those giant plays, and I've talked about this before. If you give me a diva that I know exactly what they're going to do all the time, I take it every day of the week. I want consistency out of my diva play, and no one's been better than Note.
Linkzr, I like this. They're probably not going to give him a target to work with, but it would be fun to see some Widow play out of him. We did talk a bit about it at the beginning. One of the best damage dealers in the league, but he will be relegated to the Brigitte. And they're sticking to their guns here. Houston Outlaws and Boston both. But Houston have a bit more time to work with. 3 minutes. They shouldn't be feeling the pressure quite as much. They're running back to spawn now after getting the scout, so perhaps they've got a back pocket strat. It is looking like wholesale changes. Excellent. We will get Linkzr on the Widow, and Dante's going to the skies. He's on the Pharah. Okay then, Hex, how do you think this is going to play out?
Well, this is what I was talking about that Houston needed to utilize. They know exactly what Boston's going to run. They're not going to throw a curveball at you, so find a strategy that's able to beat it. And under Volskaya, especially, where you can spread out all these different angles from all your damage dealers, the multiple damage composition can work.
Once again, though, no, same thing, but this time there is backup, and he will get demeched. Might end up costing him. Boink, however, going down is going to hurt things here for Houston. In fact, Raucus and Boink both dead. And that should be the end of this offensive push here for Houston. They're going to have to back off. And we'll see. Do they like to stick to their strategy here, or are they going to go for the change? They've got time. They still got time to go ahead for another push if they like.
They did reset here, but I think the point of this strategy is that you want to get your EMP up. Of course, Sombra's ultimate shuts down the other team, unable to use any abilities like shields, like healing, like barriers, and then they're extremely exposed to what Dante's shooting from the sky, and Linkzr as well.
Coolmat's having a tough time of it right now, though. Only at 29%
slow growth
for his ult. So it's a slow burn on his side of things. Linkzr, I like it. Clever angle, and he reaps the rewards. Headshot on Axiom to kick things off. And the follow-up on Note. There we go. You can look for the combos, or you can just hit people in the face. Linkzr doing work right now. Fusion doesn't know which way to face. He's gone. Linkzr, once again, with the help of Dante, Houston Outlaws will pick up the first point.
It's so impressive Linkzr's able to start hitting those shots right away, because a lot of Widowmaker players need warm-up. It's a very precise, mechanical hero. If you're not hitting headshots, you're almost doing nothing. It's just difficult to do. He's been on Brigitte, does not require the same level of finesse, and he comes in cold, but ends up coming in hot.
Yeah, that was the big one to start. But again, with the mind games, where am I going to be now? They don't know where I'm set up, and it works perfectly for them. And now we're going to start having those ults online. Could have the combo, could have that EMP barrage. Dante's got the barrage coming up as well.
With only 1 minute and 15 seconds, I think you just wait for Coolmat to get EMP. You have to wait for it. That's your ace strategy. That's why you're running this composition. EMP, use it with something else, and hopefully win the point. But they don't have a ton of time.
Well, Kelix gets hunted down by Linkzr in the back line. Linkzr's gone for the aggressive play with the Tracer. And there it is. The EMP gets thrown in immediately, as well as Dante's barrage. They are finding the kills. The question is it enough? 2 tanks, 2 supports still alive for Boston. They're going to be tough to kill quickly. You got Kelix is dancing around on the point right now, trying to keep Note alive. Not going to happen. Self-destruct thrown out, though. That's going to make things a little frustrating here for Houston. They're going to have to back off.
That self-destruct was not intended to kill anyone. It was just that he needed a new, fresh mech call down. And with Fusion's getting a kill, Note getting a kill, it's back to the drawing board for the Houston Outlaws. They've got Pulse Bomb to work with. Now, this has to be the best Pulse Bomb of Overwatch League history. He's got to hit a support in the backline and hope that support walks to his other support, maybe take down some tanks as well.
Well, we're seeing the changes now. They have to go through with it because they need to ferry him back to the point as quickly as possible. Linkzr needs to stay alive at all costs. He's going to be the one touching the point to buy time for his team to get into position. They're running back as quickly as possible. 3 seconds on the clock now, and the fight begins. And already Linkzr just going for it. Pulse bomb, not going to connect. Now they have nothing really to work with on the ult front. Instead, it's Boston Uprising, not wasting any time, committing the sound barrier, taking advantage of these ultimates that they do have. And now Aim God's got the trance as well. It's going to be so difficult to kill off anybody on Boston. Houston Outlaws, they're on the edge of losing it, Hex.
These Uprising supports have done such a great job of keeping each other alive and using the abilities at the right time. You use Sound Barrier to make sure your Zenyatta stays alive. He stays alive, he's going to have Transcendence if you need it. The support play for the backline of the Uprising has been great.
Excellent work from Boston. They kept it together until the end. We're going to take a break and see if they're going to be able to win the series on the final map.
What's up, guys? Malik here, back at it again, and I want to make sure those of you at home go get your Twitch All Access Pass for 2019. Now, just like last year, there's a ton of great stuff that you won't want to miss. You'll get access to the command center that lets you watch from any player POV during every match. It also comes with 200 Overwatch League tokens, so you can rep your favorite teams in the game, and you'll also get 20% off any new merch on the Gear Store website. And the best part, it's all only 15 bucks. Thing basically pays for itself. So just head on over to twitch.tv/Overwatch League and get your 2019 All Access Pass today.
Welcome back from the break, everybody. Boston Uprising currently in the lead, 2-1 over the Houston Outlaws. An excellent performance from them on Volskaya, the last map. They kept it together the whole way, Hex.
It's got to be deja vu all over again for the Houston Outlaws fans. They started off so strong. They looked absolutely dominant on their first map, but Boston finds a way, kind of slugging along. I think that's the personality of the team right now. We'll get things done as a unit, not giant flashy plays. Everybody on Boston's playing pretty well.
So there we have it, Dorado, potentially the final map in this series. These are best of 5 series, so we're looking for the first team to claim victory on 3 maps. And right now, Boston, they're looking very good indeed.
Houston has to win this one, otherwise the series is over, and they start their season 0-2. Some map wins, but just shaky, inconsistent play. The strategy works really well onto Volskaya last, but the problem with that strategy is once it works, your ultimate abilities as damage dealers are not as good as the other team's ultimate abilities. Tank abilities, like Graviton Surge, like Earth Shatter, are fight-defining abilities. So you've got a Pulse Bomb, which, you've got Infrasight. They don't
That
really
was
do
kind
as
of
much.
a pulse bomb from
Yeah,
Blizzard at the
a
end.
little bit.
You built it up, Hex. Could it be the Caster Curse?
Probably. It's probably my fault. I'm sorry.
Houston fans, you know who to blame. Right here, this guy. That's it. It's done.
All right, so now we're on Dorado, which is going to be our escort map. You get on the payload, push it all the way to the end, and that's about as simple as it gets, folks. See Boston, no surprises here. Well, a little bit of a surprise. We'll see if they run it on offense. No, Boston gonna run the exact same thing they always have. The other side of things, it is the Houston variation of 3-3 with Muma on the Winston.
And Linkser on the Ana. So, again, that mechanical aim. This is the most mechanically demanding healers, let's say. In terms of aim, you have to connect the shots to get the heals off, and then you have that sleep dart as well. Force people to take a nap. But Boston Uprising now, making progress, as you can see, on the payload. And it's really, oftentimes we see fights happen around the arch. It's looking like they wanted to go ahead and take a little bit of a poke earlier than that on Houston's side of things.
That's really interesting here is some of the kind of small interplay is going to be between Linkser and Note. Can Note really deny a lot of the abilities of the Ana? But no matter, as Linkser is the first to fall, the tank line for Boston just dominating, putting on so much pressure.
Wow. They're rolling over him at this point now. Boston, once those squishies are out in the open, if the communication is good on Boston's side, I mean, we've seen it all series long. Note, he's an assassin. He's going to dive right in there, jump right on top of him. And I mean, he's in a 2-ton mech. That's not a pleasant thing. So there we go. First point picked up for Boston.
It's Fusions and Note working well together that has impressed me the most. Now, these are tanks that we call vertical tanks, dive tanks, ultra mobile tanks. They have the ability to get to high ground then back down, as opposed to, say, a Reinhardt or a Zarya. So you're going to try to utilize that positional advantage your tanks are going to give you.
So we see change of position now for Houston Outlaws. Well, trying to maintain a position on this high ground for as long as possible. Whereas Boston just going to be trying to get that as much progress as possible out of this payload. AimGod has got his ultimate online. Notes does as well. It's on Houston's side, not quite there, but Dante's got that grab. It just came into it, so we'll see how he's going to use it. Fusions decided to go ahead, play some handball here, just batting them all over the place. And there's the grab, getting thrown out. That's Dante kicking off the fight, looking for the combo with Cool Matt, but Boston Uprising completely dodged that one. They lose Kelix, and Fusions eventually gets hunted down. Same result in the end. They're going to back off and look for the reset.
They nano boost Raucus to make sure he lives through it. Nano boost, a first heal, and then some invulnerability as well. It was an interesting attempt by Fusions to get to the back line and try to get attention from the other team. He knew he had Primal Rage at the ready so he could heal up to 1,000 at the press of a button. Just didn't work out because Houston was playing very disciplined.
Yes, Houston, good management. And now we're going to have the grab thrown in on Boston's side of things. Blase kicking it off with a kill on Muma. Self-destruct from Note, doesn't even need to find a target. Now they've killed that high-value tank. Cool Matt's going to go down as well. And this is great for Boston. They're going to be able to get some serious push now.
Yeah, the question remains whether Houston's going to start using support ultimates here. Not with the deaths that just come out late. Now Houston's in a position, little nap on the cart, still pushing. Kelix is contributing.
It's as good as it gets. You've been on road trips, Hex.
But Houston's in a good position to stabilize on this next fight. They're going to wait. They've got both support ultimates. Now both teams have both of their support ultimates up as well. So now it's just about timing and who gets more value out of those ultimates.
Dante fully charged up. The Angry Bees are ready to swarm. Muma going for the Primal right now to open things up. Definitely looking to try and take the fight to him. Going to land right on top of Axiom. Decides to play it safe though. He's going to back off.
Not a whole lot of work done there. Dante's Graviton is up for the Houston Outlaws. Can be a game-winning kind of ultimate.
And he throws it right into the doorway. Fusion's caught out in the open, cut off from AimGod. He will get overwhelmed. Great focus fire here from the Outlaws. And that's the strong start to the fight. That's exactly what they were looking for here. 2 minutes, 51 seconds on the clock for Boston Uprising. And they're right in front of the second point.
So Boston trying to set up for this next fight. They don't have Transcendence, but they will have a Rally, a Graviton as well.
Yeah.
We'll see what they want to do order of operations-wise. The small counterplay here is Cool Matt versus Axiom. Axiom's going to try to hit a Graviton Surge, but Cool Matt with Defense Matrix can completely nullify it.
Now, I like this from Boston Uprising. Change up the angle. Don't keep just running headfirst into a wall. There are different entry points here now that the payload has made it past the arch, but Muma's there to cut them off, at least in the doorway. Still, they're going to go for it. 9-0 boost in. Muma going to become a very tough target to kill, looking to do as much damage as possible. He will survive for now. The grab gets thrown in here by Axiom. Cool Matt will be the first to die. Sound barrier thrown in from Kelix as well, just making sure that his teammates have that extra health. And the grab gets thrown in by Dante now, but there is no real follow-up apart from Muma, but he's going to just tickle him. That's not going to be good enough, and it's looking like Boston now is going to make some more progress.
That should have been a defining grab as well, because AimGod and Kelix did not have ultimate abilities up to heal their whole team. They both got very, very low, but actually nice play by Blase to stick around and inspire them with his healing on the Pepita to keep them alive. Now the tables have turned. They're going to continue to push onto this last point, add some time to the clock.
Yeah, getting those spawn kills, always pleasant. Going to delay things further here for the Houston Outlaws, who will be now from spawning from right here in this room. Third point, the circle there on the ground. That's where Boston are looking to push this truck. Now let's see, can they get it done? No, surviving, taking a little bit of damage to kick things off. Cool Matt's got the ult. Dante not quite up to the grab just yet, but it's only a moment's time before he's going to get it. And this is the question, does he throw it out immediately or not? Already ult's getting thrown into the fight. Dante finds the kill on Fusions, point blank. Muma, however, caught in the corner, dropping dangerously low, gonna get cut off from his team. And now Dante just gonna go into the mix. Kelix and Note, everybody on Boston getting in on this fight, wiping Houston Outlaws out.
There's the bell, there's the horn, there's the signal. That is a team kill. Boston eliminates every member of the Houston Uprising. And that was on a hint. If they didn't kill Muma there, I don't think they commit the Graviton Surge to it. The moment that comes across, they throw everything they got at it. And now we got 2 minutes left to finish.
Now they're caught out in the open. They do manage to get out of the angle just in time. Kellex with the sound barrier. They're keeping everybody in it. So Boston Uprising now the ones to really start applying the pressure. Cool Matt getting D-Mech isn't going to help things. No D-Matrix here. They don't have to worry about a grab just yet on Boston's side, but Axiom's doing the best he can to get that online quick. That could end it right here. He's getting close. Axiom, if he survives this, the rally doing a great job of keeping everybody up. And in the meantime, Boston just finding the kills. Axiom gets the grab, immediately throws it out. And this could be it. This could spell defeat for Houston Outlaws.
A fantastic rally, gives everyone the speed. They give all the armor right there too. A really nice play by Blase, even though not really the flashiest of heroes. Rapida absolutely necessary, and you can just absolutely see how well they're communicating. Let's check with our insider down on the floor.
Thanks, guys. You might be wondering out there who is shot calling for Boston since the Gamsu trade to Shanghai. Well, I talked to Coach Huck at the half, and he told me Axiom and Fusions have picked up the mantle because they're both very vocal main tanks, and the team communication is as solid as ever. So that's all I got for the insider down here. Back to you, Semler Next.
Excellent, and that is it. You know, Fusions, I'm glad to see, newly added to this roster, first time up on the Overwatch League stage, but he's still confident calling the shots. And when you have your main tank who's got that kind of confidence, I mean, he's right there in the thick of things. He's going to be spotting the details quicker than most, and you want to have that guy to be the one calling the shots.
You can see him chirping on the floor, and I think it's a very aggressive play style. You actually could see it in their gameplay that their target selection was working really well. Everybody's focused on one, then the next, then the next, then the next. And the issue is sometimes in comms and get a little bit muddy, as we say, where everyone's talking. Might as well be no one talking at that point, because you're talking too much, you're not listening. But it does seem like Boston's teamwork overall, facilitated by that communication, has been very strong.
Yeah, it's only getting better, and that is key moving into this current strategy where you're getting these big tanks. If you're gonna kill anything, you have to be coordinated. You have to be focusing them down. Well, on Houston's side, it's going to be them on the offense now. So 3 points on the board for Boston Uprising. Houston Outlaws looking to match that. They're going to be going home empty-handed. Bit of pressure here on the Outlaws. They've had a rough start to the season so far, so let's see. Will they be able to keep it together here? Already Boston with an aggressive hold this time around. Dante in the back line, looking to get the hack. Exactly, that's the perfect target. Removes the shield, going to make life difficult now for Fusions, only just now, but then, hey, they're trading kills back and forth. The back line getting pummeled.
Trading kills, but Houston's going to come out on top of this. It's a really long walk back for the defense to try to get in position to fight again. So now, all Note wants to do is stall out as much as possible. When you're on the payload as the defense, it means the offense can't push it. You just want to be as annoying as humanly possible at this moment.
Well, Note and Kellex can both get into the fight fairly quickly once they respawn. It's up to the others now to run their way back to the arch. They're going to want to try and stop him at the arch, not let Houston Outlaws move through this choke point for free. Boston now kind of hanging back.
Yeah, you see there's no Boston Uprising players on your screen because they're all regrouping, waiting at the end. Now it's time to get back in.
Now it's time to get back in, but Dante's going to have that EMP. This could be brutal. Couple of seconds, he's in position to get it to work, but decides to back off and play it safe. Good call there from the Boston Uprising, but once again, the focus fire is too good. Houston Outlaws, despite it all, finding the kills. Dante with the stylish play. Doesn't let Axiom get out intact. And now for the next fight, he's got the EMP. This is good for Houston. They're looking fantastic so far.
The aggressive translocation ability to throw that out there, then morph to it right away, gets him the kill, taking out those low targets. I think they planned on EMPing, then they're like, oh wait, we got a couple kills, just save it. Just wait, hold on, no need.
I think he got caught. He was invisible, and I think he just took some damage. He came out of that, backed off immediately. Timing didn't line up.
He was detected, but all things have worked out as Houston Outlaws now with several ultimate abilities up. Boston getting there as well, but Boston needs to win a fight to stabilize.
Here it is. Everybody up on the high ground like this. That's why he's going to get the EMP off. It's going to be good enough here for Houston Outlaws. 4-player silence. It does wear off eventually, though. Boston now trying to stick in it, but it's not going to happen. Note dies, and Houston Outlaws is going to make some really good progress here. If you're wondering why Note is just spinning in circles, he doesn't have to worry about reloading on the mech guns. He's just hoping to connect with Dante.
infinite ammo on the D.Va. You can just hold down fire and spin in circles. The only downside being you're a little bit slower while you're doing so. However, Sombra, our invisible hero, when she takes damage, becomes very visible.
And now it is grabs in nades as well. Blase really trying to capitalize on this. He's gonna be able to keep his tank alive though. Note hanging on by a thread, gets topped up. Sound barrier thrown in here by Boink as well, and it's just a chaos. Ults getting thrown in left and right. 2 kills coming through from Boink. Getting it in, but Lynx are gonna get overwhelmed. The focus is solid on Boston's side as well. Lynx are dead, means that it's looking like Houston Outlaws will have to back off. 3.5 minutes still on the clock.
That is the stabilizing fight that Boston needed. Threw a lot of resources into it, had to hold on to it. They will do just that. And now Blase on the Ana has his Nano Boost ready. Nano Boost. Big burst healing right away if a target gets low, and then you do extra damage, you take less damage as well, and best of all, you glow a really cool shade of blue.
You get all electrified, you get powered up. We're saying, let's go. Oh, what a sleep. Get out of the fight. Let's go. Boston really looking to take it to him. Fusions, he did get boosted. Will be able to survive though. Good focused healing coming through on him. Boston Uprising burning valuable time off the clock here for Houston Outlaws. Houston Outlaws not really with any ults on the line. It's going to be Fusions right now looking for an opening to just chuck that Shatter out in the open. If Muma's out of position, yep, sure enough, going to pin him behind the wall. Nothing coming of it though. The team has to rally around him, and Fusions cut off from his team a little bit too long there.
Boston has played so well when they play together and so poorly when they haven't. You saw the team get kind of cut in half and split apart from each other, and then those kills came in fast and quick for the Houston Outlaws as they will get to the second checkpoint and add some time to their clock. That is the goal for Houston. If they get to the end of our Dorado map, we will just do Dorado again with lesser time in the bank.
Positioning is going to be key now, but you're right to point out they need to stick together right now. Getting cut off, Fuse is trying to make plays. It's admirable. Sometimes it's just not going to work out, and that was the case there on the second point defense. Dante, however, from on high, looking for the EMP, gonna find it. That's going to open things up here for the Houston Outlaws. Immediately finding the kill on Fusions. The follow-up hack on Kelix, he's no good. Should be dying, but his team, Blase too good at keeping him up. Not going to let him die for free.
This is a Houston 1 fight as well. They use EMP early on in that fight, and the problem for Boston is that they had just used Nano, unable to get any value out of that ultimate. If Boston wants to hold, it's going to be on the tanks. Notes, Fusions, Axiom, all coming online with their very impactful ultimate abilities.
They don't have a whole lot of room to maneuver though, and it's looking good. Muma removing the shield. Soundbarrier not quite there. Fusions does manage to survive, and it's Note throwing the self-destruct out, but that's not going to be a problem here for Houston. Follow-up point-blank shatter from Muma, and Houston Outlaws fighting back. Third point pick for them. They will tie it up 3-3.
You saw the ultimates come out late, but one ultimate that remained in their hands was Axiom's Graviton Surge. He died at 99%, has to be absolutely gutted about it. Then they started using ultimates to stall and hope that the grab would come back. Not enough as Houston able to finish the battle.
Curious to see. A bit more experience on the Houston side in terms of a lineup. They've been in crunch time before. Wondering right now if Boston, they're feeling just a little shaky. Now that it's match point, it's on you to keep it together and get the job done.
Boston trying to close it out and get their first win of this Overwatch League 2019 season. They're on the cusp, but now we got to do Dorado again. You see the time banks, not right now, at the top of your screen. It's going to be 2.5 minutes to 1 minute and 20 seconds, which is a not insignificant number.
Well, we've seen, I mean, Boston are the ones who are struggling. Houston looks very clean. So Boston Uprising right now, minute 20. They got the job done on those guys, Hex, right? They're capable.
They're
Just
clutch.
now it's exactly, are they clutch when it comes to finishing series? Can they bring it home? Can they finish it and get the job done? That's what we're going to be watching for now. Is Boston last minute adjustments on their side of things. Houston Outlaws, it's looking like they're going to stick with Dante on the Sombra. So they want to have those EMPs, they want to have those hacks. Those have been very effective so far. So they'll be keeping to that strategy. Boston Uprising, more of the same. Fusions on the Winston this time to give him that vertical aspect in his movement.
Just gonna try to push the cart here. Gonna wait until Dante finds something, and then maybe you collapse on it. You also just give a little bit of push for free right now because there's no reason to really fight down on the point right now. They might just contest and wait for overtime, try to push them off and just end their push right there.
Could be exactly just hanging out. I mean, this is a bit more standard fare here from Houston. Looking for the kill. Fusion's way out there. Should be able to back off. He's got Note there to back him up as well, and they're just trying to run him over. Linkser dropping dangerously low, and Linkser will fall at the hands of Axiom, but they do trade it for Aim God on Houston's side. Boy, not gonna make it. And Boston now, this is an edge. Both supports, 2 supports at least, dead for Houston Outlaws is not gonna help things here.
Fusions does fall, but it's too little too late. Only 2 alive right now near the cart for the Houston Outlaws. As Boston continues to push, Raucus will be the next to fall cleaned up there. And that ominous music you hear in the background means that we are nearing overtime. Must stay on the cart or your offense is over.
Exactly right. They'll always have to keep a body alive on it. 5 seconds left. Houston could go for the challenge. EMP is here. As you can see, Dante looking for that high-value target. Aim God would be pretty good. Yep, goes straight for Aim God. Eliminates him immediately. Does not get the follow-up hack, but the kills are coming through here for Houston Outlaws off the back of it. The self-destruct kill on Kelix. And Boston Uprising, it's looking like this is where it's going to end for them.
We do have a self-destruct on the point, trying to remake. Raucus glowing with that nano on him, trying to get as much damage done as humanly possible. Being really annoying are the Boston tanks, who somehow just won't die. Can they buy enough time for their team to reinforce?
Sound barrier thrown in, gonna make it tough for Houston to die at this point. Raucus on that high ground, chucking in the orb. Self-destruct kill on Fusions, that's big. Boston Uprising still battling back, though. A follow-up EMP from Dante. A couple of them hacked. They have to play careful on Boston's side. Houston doing a good job of keeping it together.
There's no way that Boston's able to pull this one back. I'm surprised they've been in the fight this long as well. They've got a Hammond on the cart trying to stall out, but without kills, it's going to be over. Yet another nano boost comes in on Muma.
It's been bonkers how fast these ults have been coming online for both of these teams, but certainly this has got to be it. Houston Outlaws, they need to get the kill on Kelix, who's playing clever, hiding behind the cart. Note trying to boost his way back into the fight as well. Finally, Kelix goes down, and that will be it. Half a meter from the first point is where that push will get stalled out.
Houston Outlaws trying to treat us to a map number 5. If they're able to make more progress on the payload on this escort map, we will be going to map 5 indeed as our tiebreakers. This one has been as close can be.
Back to the first style of map that we saw in this series, Control, King of the Hill style. And while we saw Houston Outlaws look very good on that map style, so this may favor Houston in the long run. But we were in a similar situation with Houston just even a couple days ago, so we'll see.
I love Fusion's aggressive play style. However, I don't wonder if it hurts them sometimes, especially on Winston. His Reinhardt play style is really good because the ultimate is so valuable. Being aggressive does more damage, charges the ult faster, and he gets shatters up every minute, as we've seen in the past. However, on Winston being that aggressive and the ultimate a little less impactful, hurts them, and he's died most of anyone in the game right now in 13 deaths so far in Dorado.
That's the thing you need to keep. Again, we were touching on this going into the match. We were touching on this prior. It's just the tanks. You need to keep those tanks up. But it's the crowd control of Earthshatter as well. It's such a huge difference maker. Not only is it a bit of damage, but it's knocking people over. It's stunning them. It's not allowing them to use abilities. Still, Boston, we'll see if they can hold. They've got a lot of work ahead of them here. 2 minutes, 30 seconds for Houston Outlaws. Curious to see, are we going to get a change of strategy here? No, Dante is going to be sticking to the Sombra. Looks like Cool Matt is going to be the one going over to the Zarya. And once again, Dante right at home in the back line. Hey, that's a big hack. Axiom out of the fight immediately almost. Has to play very carefully.
It's pretty good, but Boston gets the first 2 kills there while their entire team remains intact. So right now, a very good defense. They're holding very far forward because if they lose one fight, they'll still have a chance to come back and defend on the second half of this map as we dip below 2 minutes left in the time bank.
Exactly. Aim God looking for the back line right now. Sure enough, they know where Dante's playing from, so it's just something to keep an eye on. Aim God dropping low, the focus is great. Dante eventually takes him out of the fight. Aim God out of it, Blase as well. Boston Uprising now losing players, and Fusions will be the one to follow without the supports there to help him out, to keep him topped up. Houston Outlaws now, took them a moment to adjust. They've donated a minute, but now they win the first engagement. The first real engagement, that is. And we're gonna get into the thick of things here. Minute and 20 seconds now for Houston Outlaws.
Well, it's going to be Reinhardt versus Reinhardt here. Both Earthshatters are up and ready to use. Earthshatter does not go through shield, so it's generally a dance between Rein v Rein, sometimes called the Rein games, like the Mind games that they're going to be playing against each other, but a big shatter from either side concealing.
Oh, what a monster pressure, EMP. They're gonna get wiped out. Boston, they tried to get aggressive and run right in on Houston, but Dante punishes them. The whole team collapses on the defense, and Houston Outlaws now, it's looking like we're gonna get a map 5, Hex.
EMP makes all things possible. EMP's the opposing tank. Shield drop, Shatter down, wins the fight.
Dante once again showing why he's one of the best Sombras in the business. His position, he's always where he needs to be. The real hero here for Houston Outlaws. We're taking a break, and when we come back, we'll find out who will take the win on map 5. Welcome back from the break, everybody. Hex, I know you're bursting, waiting to see this 5th map right now. What can we expect?
Well, we're going back to our control style map, but it's going to be a different scenic view. We're going to Ilios instead of Nepal. Lovely Greece, little ships out at sea. And I don't know, I think Houston's had a great deal of success with the Sombra, but it's not necessarily something you see on control point maps. It's not necessarily what you want. I don't know, man. I want to see Widow v Widow. I want to see Linkser on it. I don't know who on Boston would play it, but whatever.
We have seen, well, now we have seen every hero played out of the 29. They've been used in strategies, but we are seeing quite a few of the tanks and the supports. That's really the dominant strategy used right now in Overwatch League. But you're right, damage dealers, Widow, that's we got to see a lot last season, the snipers going at it. It's always exciting. I mean, headshots, there you go.
It's always fun on Ilios when you play Lucio. Of course, he's got the Sound Blast ability to knock people around. And on control maps especially, there often are areas where people can fall into and die. Over the edge, into the water, into the drink if you were. So environmental kills can be something that we'll see on Ilios for sure. Hopefully we get to see some of those, colloquially referred to as the boops.
Maybe not Widow, but maybe Pharah. We saw some success there earlier today. So kind of an option that's possible here on Ilios.
I think it'd be really smart for Houston to run a Pharah because you know what Boston's going to run. Right now, they simply don't have the roster which gives them the versatility that they're looking for. So Boston is going to run what Boston's run all day. Why not throw a Pharah into that? Maybe a Reaper into the mix. Linkser has a good Reaper as well. So there's a lot of options. That said, we may end up just seeing 3 tanks and 3 supports on both sides.
I think we have to keep an eye on Flame, the general manager for Houston, if he sees a Reaper. So I think that cost them in their last match on Houston's side, might have cost them the win. So Flame might be throwing some furniture around if he sees Linkser go for the Reaper again here in clutch time.
Yeah, Matt, you know, you got to come by Matt and see Summer's impression of you. It's pretty good. It's pretty rock solid impression.
On stage. But yeah, we're tied up right now going into map 5. This is a best of 5. We're looking for the first team to get to 3 map wins. And so Houston Outlaws, Boston Uprising, they're about to go toe to toe. Well, with everything on the line, 10 seconds left.
A best of 3 here on Ilios. First 2 stages wins the map, thus the set. Let's get into it, Ilios. Beautiful. Titan of Bravos in the background there as well. Let's see what these teams want to run. And it does seem like we've got very similar compositions. 3 tanks, 3 supports. Let's slug it out.
Houston may be regretting the decision to go aggressive damage dealers in the past. Seems like they're just going to stick to their guns. They have been doing well enough playing in the 3-3 kind of setup. Now it's just about who's going to flinch, who's going to make the mistake that's going to cost them. And while we talked a little bit about this, you know, Boston lacking a little bit of experience here on the main stage, whereas Houston, it's a team of veterans. Houston perhaps counting on that to win out, but the Note has got something to say. Muma and Rock is dead.
So far, better trades for Boston to be able to take out those key figures. 3 on the point. They're trying to get the progress done and take control of the point, start counting up percentage, but Boston has something else to say about it. They will evict them off their control point and will start counting percentage of their own.
This is exciting. This is great. This is the redemption story for Houston. They lost on map 5 last time. This week, can they get it done this time around? Boston now, they've got ults online. Fusion's surprisingly far off the Shatter, but Aim God and Blase. Now we've got these support ultimates coming here for Boston Uprising, gonna make them very tough to take down, so they should have an edge in this fight. Houston Outlaws right now just kind of poking, trying to figure out if they can get in here, and then Muma gets bored with all that story, and he decides he wants to smack somebody in the face with his hammer, and there it is. Dante just throwing out the grab. Trance is through, however, from Aim God, keeping his teammates alive. Raucus is dead, and Muma just decides to go for the hero shatter. That's not gonna work. Boink eliminated, and Boston hold.
Aim God has been absolutely nutty for this Boston Uprising roster. He was on the roster last year, but in a secondary role. They traded away the player he's replacing, and now he's stepped in the lineup, and he's living up to his name. The reason they have Transcendence there is because he's able to do so much damage, able to hit those orbs from long distance. Aim God, a literal Aim God.
He's doubling Raucus's damage right now, just to point out. So Aim God is definitely hitting shots. Raucus is gonna have to play catch up, and Raucus, he gets clipped down to half HP. That's gonna be Boink committing in with the sound barrier. Counter sound barrier coming through. Axiom, however, his grab gets eaten up by Cool Matt. Big ultimate thrown out the window for nothing.
Meanwhile, though, Boston's still accruing percentage on the point. If they win this fight, they very well will take the stage. Now back and forth. Boink is going to knock Aim God over the edge, and Houston might just have the horses to finish out this capture.
Oh, he gets the knee back on him. Okay, then, Note. Never give up without a fight, and it'll be going Houston's way. But 89% for Boston Uprising. One good fight for them, and that's going to be it. They'll take the lead on this last map. Houston Outlaws now on them to stand strong here.
Got a lot of tools to do it too. Fusions could put his stamp on this match if he hits a really nice shatter. Him versus Muma in the Shatter Wars yet again. They're gonna kick it off with Rally.
Oh, Shatter thrown out by Fusions, connects with one. No follow-up possible though by the looks of things, and the Rally is out for Linkzr, beefing up the rest of his team. Shatter not going to find anybody. Kellick's actually going to get focused, but he should not die. Cool Matt not going to be able to confirm that kill. Cool Matt, you got to watch your back. You got to watch the rest of your team. They're all dying. Boston Uprising right now looking fantastic.
Kellick's gonna return the favor, knock Raucus off of the edge, and now desperation time for Houston. They've got a D.Va in position on the lower part of the map to try to get there in touch, but he's gonna be focused out quickly.
Body blocks, not gonna get in here quick. Eliminated immediately, the Trance is thrown in. They're going for a ride, and that doesn't matter because now Boston Uprising are looking very good here to close it out. All about finding the kills. Muma and Cool Matt both dead. It should only be a matter of time now for Boston Uprising to take the lead on the final map of this series, and sure enough, they will. First point goes to Boston.
You can be as veteran as you want in the Overwatch League, but if the Houston Outlaws aren't sweating now, I don't know when they will, because they got reverse swept in their first match. Now we're in map 5, starting off the year with 2 to 3 losses would be absolutely gut-wrenching.
It would be brutal for a team of Houston Outlaws caliber. Not the start that they envisioned, but for Boston Uprising, I mean, it's just last season all over again. They have a system on that team, and it just seems to work. They are taking the fight and performing versus the top teams in the league. Now, however, they're in position to win this match point for Boston Uprising, and the man in question there, Aim God, definitely living up to his name.
He has played so well. In the few times he was able to play last year, was actually putting up better numbers than the person who was starting in front of him instead. But now, for all the marbles for Boston, we're gonna head to the well. We like to call it the murder hole, because there's a giant hole in the middle of the map you can get knocked down into, and you're not coming back up.
Linkzr nearly died there. Aim God nearly clipped him in the first round. That would have been sick. Aim God already up to 21% on his Trance just because of that. Sick progress on his part, but Houston Outlaws Point has become active, and now it's the fight, and AimGod, oh, he gets yanked into oblivion. Muma puts him out of his misery. AimGod is out of it. Now Boston down a man, and this is going to get real tough for him. Axiom nearly gets plummeted in as well, but it's looking like they will have to back off here, Boston, and go for the reset. Liking the change of strategy here from Houston Outlaws, getting the McCree into the fight.
A couple of heroes we have not seen in the match yet today. Orisa is what Muma is playing. Giant quadruped with a really nice shield, but you saw the ability to pull someone with your halt ability right into the hole. This is one of the matches and stages she's used on most often. And of course, Linkzr, it's as simple as it gets. A cowboy with a 6-shooter does a lot of damage.
It's worth keeping an eye on. Muma, with that halt, it's like a miniature Grav. We're talking a lot about Graviton. These are the Zarya ultimate abilities. Linkzr's got that on cooldown. So keep an eye out. Right now it's going to be Linkzr moving through, just fanning the hammer, trying to find a kill. Turns out it's the rest of his team that are going to die, though. That's not going to help things here for him. Well, never mind.
Muma gets
Just
another kill into the hole. That's 2 yoinks, 2 halts right into the hole, drops them down into oblivion as they're getting to about 50% here. It has been all Houston on this stage of Ilios.
Targets are dying, and Boston are dying, and right now they're at 50% for the Houston Outlaws. So 50% and climbing, and now we have the great stall abilities as well. High Noon, he can just throw that out there and force Boston to take cover.
See if he gets any value out of this Deadeye. Targets heroes, able to eliminate them immediately once their icon turns to a skull. It's a difficult ult to use.
Difficult positioning, but with the sound barrier out now, exactly, he's got the bit of a buff on the HP. He's going to make it more difficult to kill him. And you can see Boston Uprising all have to hide around the corner. If they show themselves, they can get picked off. As soon as it wears off, though, Boston Uprising now straight onto the point, looking for the fight. And again, a key player getting chucked into the murder hole. Axiom is out of it. Fusions goes primal, trying to bring it back. They need to find a kill quick here, Boston. Houston, however, oh, there it is again, boy, ruthless.
Boink
Three kills. Oh, nearly another one. Muma, he just doesn't stop.
Some of these guys have been doubly dead. They get boinked and then they also get halted into the hole as well. Boston's done nothing on this stage. That nothingness will continue. And you know what, Semler? It's been a great match. It would be unfitting if we didn't go to map 3 of Ilios to decide it all.
That's it. No further can we go, Hex. This is where it all gets settled. Who's going home with the W and who's going home with the L? Still impressed and glad to see that Linkzr is able to show us what he's capable of. Only the one kill, though. But really, it's just about the damage, the constant damage output on that McCree.
You have to worry about it as well. It slows down a team's ability to dive on you, because if Winston jumps in, McCree's got a flashbang, which is going to stun you, and then you're just dead. So you can't jump in, mess around, and jump out. He's very good at stopping aggression from opposing teams.
This time, however, on a map that we're used to seeing a lot of Widow on, it's not looking like we're going to get that show from Linkzr this time around. It is going to be a mirror match by the looks of things. Nope. Muma on the Winston, and Fusion's on the Ryan.
Okay. I doubt Boston's ever going to go towards the right side, given how many environmental deaths they took last match.
Those environmental deaths, it'll come back to bite you. Boston, you just got to shake it off. Got to shake it off, get focused up here. Now or never, this is it. So, nope. Kind of hanging out on the edges, looking for those squishies. If he can find one of the supports out of position, he's looking to pounce. Has to keep an eye on his team as well. AimGod will get topped up again. Coolmat dangerously low. Coolmat team-max immediately, though. This is big for Boston. This should set them up to pick up the first control, and sure enough, the kill on Dante is certainly going to help things.
Boink with a couple of kills trying to bring his team back, but he's the only one on the board. It will be Boston Uprising eventually taking first point, and Boink with a late death means that they're going to have to take some time before they can recontest. Right now, though, nearing ultimate phase of the game, Muma's going to switch off of Winston onto Reinhardt, an entirely different style of play. It seems like we're nearing a Graviton surge for the Uprising. Axiom at 80%, Dante only nearing 40 now, so big advantage for Boston.
They have got it exactly in Fusions. He is not afraid to just throw the Shatter out there if he sees it. Muma, having switched to the Rhine now, he has to worry about that shield. But still, Boston going to put up a fight for every inch, not going to let Houston Outlaws get onto the point for free. And now Fusion's just waiting for a target to present itself.
so tense right now. AimGod's trying to stay as far away from his team as possible in case they get shattered. Here comes the Graviton. Is there any follow-up for it?
Counter grab gets thrown in. Transcendence thrown into the mix as well by Raucus, trying to keep his teammates up. The sound barrier is up as well. Kellick's going to counter that with the sound barrier of his own. This is all about timing. Both of the Rhines out of the fight. Fusions didn't even get to use his shatter. So they're both out of the mix. 5-on-5 right now. Still, the fight continues with the supports so good right now, keeping their team up. Dante still looking for an angle to make the grab work, and exactly hides it behind the pillar. Going to bring a couple targets into it, and Axiom, the focus fire is too good. He can't survive. Houston Outlaws now with the edge.
The longer, slower, more drawn out this fight is, the happier Boston is, because they are in control of the point right now. Look at that percent, keeps going up. Boston's happy to just hang out and trade all day.
They're doing a great job of stalling this out. 81% and counting now for Boston Uprising. The kills finally go Houston's way, and that's going to be it. Finally, Houston will take control. 86% for Boston Uprising. This is very similar to the first point of Ilios. One good fight for Boston now, and they could be walking away with the win tonight.
Houston's also in a very good spot ultimate-wise. It'll be interesting to see if Boston wants to try to just bait them into using abilities and fight next time, or really commit to this. We're going to see based on the ultimate usage for Boston. If they start committing check marks, then they're in it to win it.
They're really in there. Dante, though, with this high ground, he's just pumping damage in. Pumat's going to help out here. Have this! Self-destruct! Not going to find a kill, but still sowing chaos in the back ranks for Boston. And Boston, quick reset here. Get out of dodge. AimGod with the parting shot on Linkser. But they're going to get chased all the way back to their shuttle.
I'm not in love with that Transcendence there. I thought the fight had already over. You only need one. Might as well accrue all of those resources possible. But AimGod is getting his ultimate ability up once every minute, so why not? Next fight, we could see finally Boston utilize a Graviton Surge into a self-destruct. Can they combo it to win the series?
Well, they're on the point now. But again, it's on Houston Outlaws to keep contesting it. Houston Outlaws are going to try and draw this out as best they can. There's the grab. Self-destruct. Thrown right above it. No, going to be looking for the bubble. He's only going to find Linkser. Good timing there from Raucus and everybody involved. Boink as well, keeping his team alive. But Muma's going to get pinned up against the wall. The sound barrier from Kellis just making it too hard to take down the Boston Uprising. Boston Uprising right on the edge now of flipping the point. They're doing the best they can to stall it out, Houston, but it's not going to be good enough. 90% now for Boston Uprising. Match point.
Can Houston even get back to touch the point? There is a Brigitte rotating around that I don't think they saw. Going to get on the point. Fusions is up front to stop everybody else, but that's it! Boston Uprising pulls off Ilios, pulls off map 5, pulls off